The establishment, the powers that be, have already done so much to cover up, deny, spin, and refute the claims that there's a link between autism and vaccines, in particular the MMR vaccine. They've destroyed people's careers. They've created counter research. They've funded people in the media to say it's not true, there's nothing going on. And now it's gotten even worse in the wake of this latest CDC whistleblower.
I'm really mad, so I'm just going to try and be as coherent as I can under that, because this is really this is disgusting is what this is really. But what's happened here is that one of the principal scientists on the main study from 2004, this study right here, one of the principal scientists on this study, William W. Thompson, PhD, has come forward to say that when this study occurred, the data actually showed a connection between MMR and autism, and they manipulated the data and put the study back out to say what they wanted it to say. What it actually showed when the data was not cooked, what it came out to say was that African American boys who received the MMR vaccine at 3 years of age or younger were 340% more likely to develop autism than other children. 340%. And so what did they do when they had this data in their hands that clearly showed this skyrocketed chance of developing autism? What did they do with that? Well, basically what they did was they decided to exclude children that did not have a valid state of Georgia birth certificate, thus reducing the sample size studied by 41%. That way, they eliminated the statistical power of the findings to negate the strong MMR autism link, particularly in African American boys. So that's what's going on right now, but you won't know that because you won't hear about that anywhere because hardly anyone is talking about it. I mean, this is in Natural News. It did come out. Market Wired is the one who originally put out the press release, and it did go onto Yahoo Finance, but clearly it was censored, and I'll show you why. If you scroll down, there's only 18 comments on this story, and it was put up 6 days ago.
And that's a massively popular website.
I go to Yahoo News just to see what they got all the time, and here you go. I just randomly clicked on this. Roche to buy U.S. biotech firm for $8.3 billion. Well, yeah, biotech firm, and maybe they're going to do something that sucks. Who knows, right? But that was put up 6 hours ago, and already it has 15 comments. Okay?
That's a pretty blasé story.
So this story, however, could potentially affect millions of children, not just in America, but all over the world. And it's got 18 comments. I don't think so. But if you go ahead and look at, I just went to Google News just to type in CDC whistleblower, see what comes up. Nothing. 3 stories about it, mostly in alternative media, and then the Market Wired press release. This Yahoo Finance somehow magically doesn't show up in Google News. And nothing else does either. All the rest of this stuff down here is not related at all. Information about this continues to trickle out. Now, Mike Adams is reporting today that he has received a letter dated in 2004 that was from William Thompson to Dr. Gerberding, then head of the CDC, saying, I'm going to be presenting the summary of our results from the Metropolitan Atlanta Autism Case Control Study, and I'll have to present several problematic results relating to the statistical associations between the receipt of the MMR vaccine and autism. And Miss Gerberding, let's just go ahead and get it on the record. All she did at the years that she was at the CDC was pave the way for her next job, which she took in 2009, as the president of Merck's vaccine division. She just paved that road for herself. And that's what a lot of people do because, well, the revolving door between our government, Big Pharma, the CDC, all of that is just ridiculous. It spins so fast there might as well not even be a door. And what you have now is reports being censored.
Mm-hmm. And that's what shows you the establishment doesn't want this out, and they're still not willing to admit the truth, even as their facade is crumbling.
Twice now, people have tried to put this story up, and this is what it looked like, on CNN iReport. iReport would be something where people are able to submit news to CNN, user-generated news. Mm-hmm. But twice now, these stories have gone viralish as far as being up there, and twice now they've been taken down. This particular one was up to 45,000 views. It had received over 10,000 in an hour. I mean, it was going there. And what did they do? They took it down. You try to go there now, it's not there. It's not available. And it's not the only one. Back here on the Natural News article, they show another one. They tried to put up another one after that showing a 340% increased risk of autism hidden from the public. And that was going viral as well. That also got pulled down.
And CNN tried to pretend that it didn't fit their criterion, but these people were just reporting what this whistleblower said.
I mean, that's news. It happened. The whistleblower came out. He said this is what happened. We manipulated this data to give a false report to the people that could have negatively impacted millions of children's health. He said that. That is news. It happened. So how does that violate CNN's user agreement? And furthermore, as John Rappaport points out, the headquarters of CNN is located in the same city as the headquarters for the CDC. So all they have to do is get in a cab and drive on down there and ask a few questions. Are they going to do it? Obviously not. They're not even going to let this get out at all. They're going to try and do everything they can to keep it under wraps, clearly. And now it's come out that this whistleblower, this man William Thompson here, according to sources that have told John Rappaport, that he was escorted off the CDC campus as of August 21st. And apparently the Autism media channel, which first broke the story, has also been taken down. You can't get to that. But the video is still up on Vimeo, and I saw it on YouTube. So you can still get this video, and we'll put links to that because you need to watch this for yourself and see what you think about it. It should also go on record, just as a side note, that Merck is also currently being sued by 2 of the doctors who were working on the MMR vaccine because they also say that the actual data showing the efficacy of this vaccine has been completely manipulated and that it's absolute lies being printed on the packages as well, and that they've been using animal antibodies to try and come up with this 95% efficacy rate that they would need to allow them to continue selling these vaccines and having them approved. So Merck is already in the middle of that scandal, which broke in 2012. They're being sued over the same vaccine.
Obviously, the insiders were concerned at some level about getting sued over possible links between autism and this vaccine because a writer was mysteriously put into the Patriot Act bill of all things back in the Bush era, and it was pushed through and it almost was signed into law. And there was a big political showdown. They removed it finally. But why were they trying to protect the vaccine industry? Who was trying to protect the vaccine industry? Why were they so concerned about a backlash over the autism vaccine link? Well, come to find out, there's been a lot of work on trying to protect this industry, various government mouthpieces. There's been a very concerted effort to kill this issue and to demonize parents who are concerned about it. They try to put it off on the parents of being concerned without evidence.
As a parent of a child with a vaccine injury, I can tell you right now, you know when your child is normal and then you take your child in there, get a whole bunch of shots, and then your child cries and has a fever for days afterwards, and then your child is never the same again. You know what that is. You know that it's not just some other thing that randomly magically happened to be at the same time that you gave your child all of these freaking poisons that they're lying about. You know about that, okay? Just saying. Parents know their children. I mean, the CDC also, by the way, still upholds the vaccine research of Paul Thorson, who was on the FBI's most wanted list because he actually absconded with $1 million in CDC grant money earmarked for autism research. So, but they still hold up his data as being valid and scientifically awesome and everything, even though he took $1 million from them and ran away. And also, just for the record, I wanted to point out that the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, it has come out, this was in Pace Environmental Law Review, and the investigation that they did here shows that they've been compensating cases of vaccine-induced brain damage associated with autism for more than 2 decades. And the investigation also suggests that the officials at Health and Human Services, the Department of Justice, and the Court of Federal Claims have been aware of this association, but have failed to publicly disclose it time and again. There was one kid that got, $1 million or $2 million for the MMR vaccine. So CNN's not going to report on it. But you know what CNN will report on? This. that the autism rates now in the U.S. are 1 in 68 children. That is now up 30% from 2 years ago when it was 1 in 88. And it varies by state. It's 1 in 45 in New Jersey. But it says children with autism continue to be overwhelmingly male. And according to the new report, the CDC estimates that 1 in 42 boys now has autism. 1 in 42. So if you have a son and you've given him vaccinations, you are really, really lucky if he doesn't have this. And I don't know what they're going to do. I guess they're just going to keep trying to hide the truth from people, not report on it, because this number's just going to get smaller and smaller. I mean, it's just going to get closer together. What is it going to be? 1 in 20, 1 in 10, 1 in 5?
It's sad. I mean, they're fine on reporting with the statistic as long as they don't show the cause. But when Dr. Andrew Wakefield does the research, they ruin his career and spread lies about him. When parents become concerned and stop getting the vaccines, they put out stories about it, warning parents not get the vaccines. And they put out the kind of studies that we just see here coming unraveled, where the CDC whistleblower admits he was paid, forced, coerced, to put out fraudulent data and cover up the risk that they know is there with the vaccine. Whose interest are they working for? I think we've got a pretty good idea. Not your children.
Yeah. And let me just point out one more thing before I go. This guy, this William Thompson guy, he also did a study having to do with thimerosal, the mercury preservative in vaccines, not being very dangerous. The effects of mercury on babies and very young children in 2007. Since he's coming out now to tell us all that the data was so manipulated on that other study, that also calls into question, as John Rappaport points out, this study. And pretty much anything else this guy did, and basically anything else the CDC has done on vaccines, if you want to know the truth. Why would you trust these people? Why would anybody trust these people? Oh yeah, that's right, because they're the government and they love you, right?